All right. A little something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimao party is the place we flee for the friends we see and these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sardinia for WGGMBUCC. That's right, the greatest acronym in sports. World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championship. We've got an all-Canuck battle. The winner takes a liter of maple syrup and a spot in the quarterfinals. Hurt taking on Solid Gold. We've seen Solid Gold a couple times. Hurt are their first time on stream, coming off their first loss to Notsuo. I'm Stefan Rapazzo alongside John Doc to bring you the action. Doc, we're straight into it, so we'll follow the play and then get some thoughts as we go. As Nichols goes over to Zimral, sends deep, looking for Yearsley and hits him. A dime of a throw by Shaggy to put the first point on the board.
Yeah, really nice throw there, and we've already seen Solid G Old twice on the stream with 2 Universe Points wins, one against the team that topped their group, another against the team that came bottom of their group. So it might depend on which one of them shows up today, if they're going to be Solid or if they're going to be Old. So from Hurt, we've only seen some results from them. They had a loss against Natsuo, who I think have looked very, very good so far at this tournament, so it's hard to know where they really are, how hard they might have pushed in that whole game. They would come into this, in my eyes, as with very limited knowledge about them. I would still think that Hurt would be the favourites coming into this, purely based on the fact that Solid had that Universe Point win against Uncle John's band, who came bottom of the group, and it's hard to think you have that many, you can be that up and down and still start winning games at this level at this stage of the tournament.
Pull sent to Solid Golds and collected. Carlton is there with a little bit of pressure on the reception. Lauan winds up and he sends deep. Keith has separation. Will it stay in bounds? Nearly, but one step out, and that's going to be a turnover and a first break chance for Hurt.
A bit of me thought it was possible to make that. I'm not sure.
I thought a toe drag would have been possible. It might have resulted in a face plant.
He would have had to really drag it, because you can't drag the line here.
That one moved forward, and Jamie Clay collects now into the corner. Harnett and slots one in to John Frame for the break. That makes it 2-0.
Yeah, just small margins in this one. That last one, again, I really thought there was a chance that he might have dragged the line and towed that one in, but I know the rule says if your foot's under the line. I don't know what the rule says about dragging the line. I guess that might need clarification when someone decides to extend the field by a meter while waiting for the disc. But really tight margin on that last one. A bit unlucky by Solid G Old.
I think it's actually solid gold.
I think it's solid gold, but the G is small, so I feel like they want to call themselves Solid G as well. But I don't know, we'll mix it around. I'll mix it around. Hurt though, looking strong on offense. 2 possessions, 2 scores, both very effective.
Mike List set to pull. A player I remember from playing in Toronto back in the day. Fondly. Used to run a club team called Mandrew. Powers to Kerbach, and now Mickael. He leads forward, nice throw, and that one hits Chen and called not in. Chen to Wavrock, and a foul called on the throw.
Yeah, Wavrock here, you imagine, is going to end up being the target based on how we've seen her play so far.
Chen with a high stall count. Sees a seam. Mickael hits his knees and gets a goal. And Solid Gold put their first one on the board. It's 2-1.
Yeah, tight one in the corner. Probably deserved that on the averages of the play so far. The last one they said, or the last one just we said a little bit out of bounds. This time they do a little bit better, and maybe would have scored a pass earlier if not for the foul on the mark. So good to see them get this one. It is the pre-quarters. It is the pre-quarters now. We are officially in the knockout rounds of this tournament, where if you lose now,
you go home.
You go home.
Legit.
You go home.
You're done playing.
You go to the bar. Maybe they go to the bar here.
They go to the bar
it's
first, and then they go to the losers bracket.
Yeah.
They don't actually get sent home.
But we'll see. They might feel like it. Double the checking of our rosters here to make sure we get everyone while we get back underway here with Solid Gold getting ready with the pull. Going to look to tie it up here. Decent pull.
V-A-I-O.
Working it up here. Low, snappy throw, and you imagine it's going to be a quick score here, but just not able to get it into the end zone yet, but they do on the next one.
I was picking up information there. Didn't realize my microphone was still off. Apologies for that, but you're getting a good look at the ins and outs here as we top up the roster. And Hurt top up the score sheet, making it 3-1.
Yeah, they're 3 for 3 now on possessions of the disc.
Unscathed. I asked about how their game went against Natsuo, and the answer was not good. They got broken on the very first point of the game, and despite trading for a few thereafter, got broken more than once before half, and then a couple more times in the second half, and just slowly got chipped away. They said, yes, Natsuo were good, but it was also their poorest game of the weekend, and you know, that tends to happen. You play your poorest game against the best opposition, the tightest defensive units. As Solid Gold move forward, Lauan goes under to Ross. Ross looks back to Carlton in the dump space. Now one knee for Lufti, and he floats one off. Lauan gets the right hand on it, keeps it alive, throws casually, and that's all it needs to be, because Sherry Ross plays the boss and gets a goal, keeping it within one. It's 2-3, still in favor of Hurt.
Yeah, nice grab there on the layout to get that, and then up quickly, and good to see the teammate is following up. Sometimes people are too busy watching to see if the catch is made. They forget to follow up on the play, and that time no problem there for the offensive support in the end zone, wide open, gets up. Easy throw, easy goal, keeping it close, and another chance to get a break here and get this game back on serve. Now our other pre-quarter.
Ooh, news, Doc. What do we got?
We got a 2-1 currently.
All right, it's early.
A moment ago, I see a player catching the goal, getting a nice little bump late, hands being shown. So while we have hurt over here, there might be some hate building on the other one.
And so it's the Swedes up over the Germans right now.
Or the Swiss. Swiss,
yes.
Square flag.
SWI, not SWE.
Or SUI for whatever reason.
Yes,
every
if
time
it's French.
I see it.
Suisse.
Yeah.
Because Swiss or French and German national languages there, and another one that I don't recall. It's like an old language. Yearsley from Nichols in the middle. Then Zimmeral looked off, and then the deep one looking for Nichols. That is the first turn of the game for Hertz O-line.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or just a big overthrow there. I would say it was a miscommunication on the thrower's part, but not on the cutter's part, because I think to actually catch that disc in that spot, the cutter would have had to make a very difficult over-the-head catch.
Wavrock goes inside, Capadia. And then the over-the-shoulder for Chan from Mickael. Mickael. Thought about the big one. Now dumps to Wavrock. Capadia. High and bounces off Chan's hand. And Hurt will get their hold chance again. Nichols shovels, and Shaggy Zimmerall just watches it bounce off both hands and gives it straight back. He's got hands on hips, not happy with himself.
And he's now got to stand there and think about it while the other team decides what they want
Well,
to do.
you can put your hands on hips. I will too. We're in no rush. Capadia. Goes the Scuba. Chan's there. And they get the break. And we're back on serve.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to rub it in his face there. He gives him the scuba fake. He shows, you're taller than me. You should be able to hand block me if I throw this. Oh, I'm going to throw it anyway for a score. He's like, I'm going to give you the hands on hips. And then it's a nice scuba into space. You could tell he was looking for it, I think. He did obviously throw it high enough for the defender not to have much chance there. But back on serve, I think. And solid goal here with a chance now to try and get their break, get themselves back in front. Not too much happening on the other field, still 2-1.
They stopped playing.
Yeah, must have been that bump earlier, must have turned into something else.
Lumley with the pull. And, ooh, nice brave pull reception from Viao. Frame. Ooh, nice trailing edge pickup just off the ground. Knowles. Knowles to Chewy. And shot deep. Harnett versus Siebert. And Siebert blindly throws the hand up. Let's have another look at this one.
It looked like he was calling for a translator for a minute.
I thought it was clean enough. He went up blindly, but I don't think he made too much contact. That was my initial impression. I think I stand by that.
Yeah, I think it looked like the receiver went up a little early and maybe came down a little early, but they've already decided to contest it. So I'm going to say I think maybe it was a turn, but there was probably a little bit of contact, but I'm not sure he would have been able to stay in the air long enough based on when he jumped to hold on to that. So a little bit of fortune here to get that disc back, I think. But the disc usually ends up revealing what should have happened, so we'll see what happens here.
And Knowles ends up running one in from Chewy, throws it down the line, and they get the goods one way or the other. Hurt back up in front by 1.
Yeah, nice throw there. First time maybe a little overthrown, second time gets it on the money. Some friendly pushing between some of the players here on opposite teams. Actually friendly now, not meant as a joke. So thought maybe we might get a chippy game with the Canadians. I'm sure there's been some rivalries here that go back decades. Must be, has to be.
Definitely.
So I was thinking that, but so far it's all friendly.
That said, I mean, both these teams taking players from all over. Like a lot of Toronto influence on Hurt, but I mean it's Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and I think Solid Gold is quite similar. So I mean they've had. Surely there's been some clashes and some big battles amongst them, but some with as well.
Yeah, probably enough reps on national teams together to get over those rivalries.
Carlton takes the under to Ross. Keith runs into it on the far sideline. Keith winds up, sends deep. Loudon goes flying, and the disc a half meter in front.
I'm liking how they're telegraphing their throws so much here. Gives us a good chance to look downfield and see what throw is about to come. You could tell their shot was coming to the end zone. I was surprised it came out so low and fast, but seeing where the defender was, it kind of makes sense. Hurt now with a chance to take a 2-point lead in this game.
Mike List sighting the disc. And we'll have the pickup. And puts a flipper over the top to Paskovich. Paskovich again. Back to Watanabe and List. List shakes one way, gives the other. Hill leads forward. Clay for goal, and a collision prevents the reception. You imagine there could be a call, but now Watanabe says no. Fair collision.
I like the retraction there or not retraction. I like the lack of call. I do think it was, you could argue, it was potentially dangerous, but I think players playing this long, sometimes if you know each other well enough, you'll know their intent, and if you believe the intent is okay, sometimes you'll just say, do you know what, I think that the decision made should have led to a turnover, so we'll let it stand as the deep shot goes up.
Lowen and reads it perfectly. Watanabe gets turned around just enough on the other end, and a goal for Solid Gold levels things back.
Yeah, great throw. We saw it on the last one. He zipped it a bit too much. This one a bit, he actually got it to come in. I would have thought the more outside in backhand would have been an easier throw there. He actually threw it a little bit inside out, which I guess it doesn't matter. If you're playing this long, catching a disc over your head isn't going to be that difficult. But just back to the last one where there was like the collision in the corner. I kind of like it when players are willing to say, look, there was contact. If I wanted to, I could probably call something. But the throw did look like it was not a great throw, and in fairness, you were trying to just make a play on the disc, and sometimes the collisions look worse than they were. So there's one or two games yesterday where maybe a different player in that position might have done some cartwheels and rolls into the ocean, but today he decided to get up quick and say, I'll dust off all this sand and I'll get on with it. I'm not hurt that bad.
So all tied up once again. Zimmeral and Yearsley initiate. Yearsley takes the open dump. Then Tui comes under, swipes off. There's definitely a pick there, not called. And Tui goes and takes the big gainer to Zimmeral. Trying to isolate. Nichols cutting for all he's worth. Now the dump, and that one is a bit high. Tui slaps the sand, but I think the throw was a little bit off.
Yeah, good defense by 44 there for Solid Gold. Cut down a couple of cuts from what seemed like a much faster player.
Wavrock leads Mickael, and bang, straight in. That's a break for a lead take for Solid Gold, as they looking good despite their lower basement.
Yeah, I guess they've decided to climb up the steps today and decide to have the solid performance. They've had a up and down games, but I guess what matters is they were winning when they needed to win to get to this stage, and now you're in a game against a team they're going to know well, so perhaps that's a bit of a factor as well. If they played another team of a similar level to Hurt that they didn't know so well, but sometimes just knowing your matchups can obviously, it's not sometimes, every time knowing your matchups is a big advantage. So if one team prepares that a bit more than the other, that might be also a big factor in this game as well. And like we said, it was only that one game from Solid Gold that had me somewhat a little bit unimpressed. When other games when they've played, they've looked solid, like as the name suggests, they look like a team capable of causing trouble for anyone. So maybe that just one game was just a one-off game where they maybe didn't come in as prepared as they should have for a team that they probably expected to beat by a lot.
Yeah, the local derby on foreign ground always gives advantage to the underdog. A little more advantage than they would have otherwise, I find. And what happened there?
Stall out, I think.
That was a quick 10 seconds.
Usually if you go back, you'll realize it was 6 seconds on the game clock, maybe 7. That's what I've learned from watching European Ultimate anyway.
If they score here, it should be a Hurt timeout, and they do. Lumley breaks the mark to Siebert. Those two have been connecting well over the course of the weekend. Hit again there and take a lead on Hurt. No timeout taken. They're going to keep rolling here despite the Solid Gold run.
Yeah, Lumley being really impressive this weekend, especially on the receiving end. I think that one of the games we had him yesterday, I think it was the game against Rundown where he just seemed to be catching every goal. It seemed like Rundown were not clearly, but in my opinion, maybe a couple of points better, but the game was just so close because of Solid Gold. Just one or two key players just consistently, in both genders, just consistently just essentially unstoppable at what they're good at. And when you have players in both genders that are capable of stepping up, it means if the other team is lacking in defenders in one area of their game, then you have a player who can step up in that area. So again, I think maybe I might have expected this one to be going slightly the other way, but like I said, if Solid Gold show up and play their A game, I don't actually know which one of these teams is better. So looking forward to just seeing how the rest of this game plays out. But a chance for them to take half here with a break.
List to Yearsley. Leads forward to Chewy. Deep cut went and was begging for it, but takes the conservative option back to List. Poach in the lane. List nods it off and throws back to Chewy, the poached player. Chewy goes across field. Kwok. Around and high. Paskovich. Gets Yearsley dancing, but well defended by Keith. Late in the stall count. Drops it on Kwok. And a double bobble. Thankfully for Hurt, she manages to press that one into the body.
Yeah, just a good job to hold on to that one. But I didn't actually see the release on the throw, but yeah, it drifted nicely. Kind of throws the defender off, and good focus, concentration. You could easily sometimes just not catch that the first time and had the awareness to make that second grab and secure it. So an important score, because I think if they went in 7-4 down at half, it would be a pretty nasty position to be in. Again, we were getting close to the timed half as well, so not as many. Well, actually, I guess 11 points in 22 minutes. Maybe we're not giving enough respect to how fast the points are supposed to be scored here, because it feels like every game today it's been 2 minutes, 3 minutes per point, and this game is 6-5 inside 23 minutes, which is pretty crazy. And I think the 4-2 in the other game with the Sunset Crew 4-2 up against Eastside, maybe more what you'd expect. So I think if you're a fan of quick points and doing something between points, streams have been good for you today.
Mickael from Wavrock and zips to Kerbach. Wavrock to Mickael, and we got a pick called. Back to Wavrock. Wavrock leads to Mickael. Mickael straight back. Wavrock again and over to Powers with the around backhand. Powers gives the hammer. Mickael back in the end zone for the goal. Solid gold connect and score once more.
Yeah, they take half as well with that one, 7-5. They went down a little bit at the start, but in the last couple of points, I'm not sure exactly what it was. I think they were 3-1 down, so they've gone on a 6-2 run after. Yeah, I think 6-2 run potentially over the last 8 points. And when you think of it that way, it really shows how the momentum has shifted in this game.
Yeah, I had not put those numbers together, Doc. Thank you for the breakdown there. And with that, we'll take a break of our own. We'll be back with second half action. Hurt versus Solid Gold, an all-Canadian affair, pre-quarters from Sardinia.
I worked for a Michelin star chef making gelato in Paris. I had my own restaurant in Nicaragua and a food truck in Australia. Why wouldn't you watch me? Check out my YouTube channel.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Second half action just about ready to get underway. An all Canuck affair in pre-quarters here. Solid Gold have been on a heck of a run. Hurt favorites coming in have had the better bracket or the better pool play. But none of that matters when it comes to knockout stages, Doc.
No, exactly. And like we said, Hurt started stronger, but the last 8 points, a 6-2 run for Hurt really shows who's on, or a 6-2 run for Solid Gold really shows who's on top.
Ross leads for Keith, and he's there and collects another goal. They not only took the late advantage in the first half, they started on D, which gave them that benefit, the 2 for none, and they stretch it ahead another one.
Yeah, a couple of the Hurt players just kind of looking at each other like, hey, what's kind of going on? Or they're a bit unsure why. I think they're a bit disappointed with themselves, and seeing them trading with Natsuo in the last game, I didn't really see much of the game, but like they were trading a bit, and that's a difficult team to trade against. So I think it's just a case of just Solid Gold just came ready to play, and maybe Hurt weren't fully here. Again, I can't claim to know enough about the players to say which one's actually better. It's just based on one game alone is how I'm judging my expectations coming into this game. And
we're 28 minutes into this, so more than halfway. before time cap. I mean, a 3-point lead, 8-5. There is time to make a comeback, but I mean, that time's got to start now or Hert's going to be in a very difficult situation with their higher seed very much in jeopardy. Mike List scoops over top. Chewy chucks the body face full of sand but has the disc. That's the only important part. List to Knowles. Knowles finds Kwok up the sideline. Now back looking for Zimmeral and knocked away by Seton Siebert.
Might have been
Lumley to Siebert. Those two have been red hot. Siebert goes deep and looking for Watt and ends up overshooting. And Hurt will get a second chance at this one.
Yeah, and they're going to need it. 7-2 now. I think until they score, we're just going to remind them what the run is. 7-2 is not even close.
Yeah, their 3-1 is just doesn't stand anything next to that 7-2 run. Kwok from Knowles. Chewy left, leaving it all out there, making that huge bid to keep the Scuba alive before Siebert got the takeaway. Then the overshoot. Mike List. Under for Knowles. To Kwok. Hurt looking quite slow in the backfield. List does make a move for it. To Knowles. Both List and Zimmeral staying deep in the backfield. List breaks the mark for Kwok. A broken defense. List gets beyond everyone, and a very important goal called not in. I think I agree with that. List does pop over top. Kwok takes it, and Hurt. A very important goal at this stage. Bring themselves back to within 2. Stay within striking distance.
Yeah, that strong start to the game is probably the only thing that makes me think they still have a chance in this game. And again, with the solid goal team, you have to remember they did lose on Universe to I think it was Runway.
Rundown.
Rundown. Just didn't know that, a Frisbee name. But they did only lose on Universe to them, and that was the team I believe who topped that group. So again, they're third in their group, but they could have just as easily been first despite only beating bottom on Universe. So again, just maybe just a bit of an inconsistent team where their highs and lows are.
Inconsistent team, inconsistent group, a little topsy-turviness.
Yeah.
But 8-6 now.
I think it's dog cam. Not sure. Got some dog cam gone into the little tents.
Doggo cam.
Even the dogs get better shade than our cameraman back there.
Here's the pull. Powers, back pedals, doesn't want to throw the hands up for it, probably wise. Wavrock gives an immediate center and then puts it into the wrists of Mickael. He shakes around, gets the break throw. He worked hard for that, and then Chen just totally misses Wavrock.
Yeah, big point here.
Nichols on the pickup. Break back. First break in a long time if they can manage it. Horne gets a nice move, and lucky that catch was made because there was friendly fire about to collide. They find Nichols in the end. The throw incoming from Paddy Hill, and that's a break and 2 in a row for Hurt to be within 1, 8-7.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about the momentum shifts in this game, and I felt like that was a kind of a key one. I felt if Solid Gold were going to be able to just slot that one in and get the job done, I would feel like there's not much suggesting to me that Hurt can get back in. But as much as we talked about like 6-2 runs and all this, it's just a 1-point game now, and that's a break for Hurt, and the momentum's slightly shifting back towards them. I would say it's a pretty even game. Obviously the scoreline does suggest it, but we're essentially on serve I mean, if Solid were pulling here, we would be on serve. It's just the fact that one team is pulling to the other is the only reason we're not on serve here.
That's one break difference. Is how that boils down. Watanabe set to pull. Longtime member of GOAT in their glory days. Keith goes to Carlton. Yay. She hangs on. Needed to use her face for it. Now Ross has pressure tightened.
I think it was a good downfield switch at the start of that point.
Keith sees Lowen. And in the middle for Lutfi. Lowen shoots for goal, but overdoes it. And a chance for another break, which could tie things up.
Yeah, I get the feeling in this one, the next, obviously every time you say it, the next break's the most important, but if there was one where you're going to say now we're getting to the stage where it might end up being kind of momentum and game deciding, I feel like the next team to get one here, this could be the time for it.
From the end zone, Nichols shoots out for Graham Hill. Hill, Tavayo, and then Nichols. Watanabe, Tavayo. And Paskovich checks the deep shot, and it goes out the sideline. No chance for a bid.
Yeah, that one I think a bit too far. Thought the one at the start of the game for a solid goal was maybe a bit more catchable. I think that one was, on the stream there, it looked more catchable than I think it actually was. So not too much to say about that one other than just slightly overthrown. You can tell the pace has slowed down a little bit now. We've gone from almost 2 minutes a point to closer to 2.5 minutes a point.
Keith to the corner. Tapped in. And shot deep, looking for Ross. And Paskovich gives them help defense, and like he did, because I think Ross would have been able to run that down otherwise.
Yeah, good closing speed there to make sure of that, and I think we can agree we picked the right pre-quarters. It's 8-2 in the other one now.
Oh, we got a banger over here. Nichols to Hill. Hill sends deep. Paskovich, the target. Another break, and it's definitely being discussed here. That was way too anticlimactic to not have a foul attached.
Yeah, I think earlier in the point I thought I saw hand signals downfield for something. I'm not sure what it was, but it looked like they just kept on playing and ignored it. I honestly have no idea what it was. It just seemed like there was a moment where players stopped for something.
Jonathan Potts getting presidential treatment here, a commentator before his next game, using some of the commentary booth shade.
We could make some money off that. I'd say it's a high
for what
value
looks
resource,
like a bag full of drinks.
What seemed like a very confusing stoppage kind of makes sense now that it's taken so long to get going again. I think players trying to resolve where they were.
And back into play. Hill shoots again. This time it's picked off. Keith runs through. Yowen to Keith. Keith to Carlton through some traffic. Yowen. Carlton resetting in the dump space. High hand gets around. Keith fires for the end zone. Yowen on target and is there but not in. The catch is made, and then to Carlton for the goal, and the solid gold O-line responds despite giving away a couple opportunities.
Yeah, again, not entirely sure what the call a while ago was with that brought back the goal, but it did seem like there was something. But that's the margin of this game. It was almost so close to basically being a break for Hurt, which I think would have put the game in their favor. But solid goal, get another chance, and then they go back up and get the job done there. So not a whole lot not a whole lot of opportunities left in this game for her to start getting their comeback going now, but we'll see how it goes anyway. 2-point game right now.
About 12 minutes remaining.
Players taking their time between this one.
Zimmeral to Yearsley and straight back again. Nothing open downfield. Knowles. The around. Chewy comes under. Two-hand crab catch. Hits Zimmeral. Yearsley curls but had toe in his back pocket. Knowles now swings through to Kwok and Chewy.
Hearing an injury call being.
And Yearsley out, Frame coming in. As Hurt keep navigating on O, trying to find another way in to bring this back to within one. Chewy to Zimmeral. He goes back to Chewy. Gives a hard cut. The under comes from Frame. Coming out of the end zone stack. Leads for Chewy. Still not in. Kwok is there. And Hurt get a goal back and bring it back to within one.
Yeah, you get the feeling that this game is going to go right down to the wire and starting to run a little bit out of time, but still enough time left for a couple of points to go either way on this one. But 9-2 in the other one, so 100% we picked the best game this round to watch as well.
Yeah, of course, that job, we get some consultation, but that lands in the hands of El Presidente de Bula Brass, Sofia Pereira, with some consultation by good old Patrick Van de Valk. But we got it right this time. I mean, it was as per schedule. They just like nailed. So we got to give this one to Bruno then. But we got a game here. Understatement of the year. We've got a game here. Wavrock leads for Chen. Oh, and Chen, second error on an O-line for him. That time right into the defense. Picked up quickly for Clay. Clay goes for Hill. Frame fires forward. Horne breaks the mark, but hits the defender. Oh, there's a foul there. Kerbach looked to have intercepted, but looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, uncontested straight away.
Horne to Frame. Frame leads high. Hill. Hill goes into the dump space again. Frame's there. Frame with a high stall count mounting from Powers. Back to Horne. And Frame, and we've got another call.
See some urgency from the Hurt sideline. Get it going, and no rush to get it going by Solid Gold.
Frame lead, and Chen gets it back.
He just reaches.
You always play your best defense when you're personally responsible for the turnover, and that is case in point there. Wavrock hits Chen. Chen holds his toe diligently. And then he looked to Powers. Powers said, no, go elsewhere. And he forced it. And then Powers turns over trying to get to Mickael.
Powers knew he didn't want the disc there. Maybe that's why. He's like, I'm going to throw a hammer if you give it to me. Just a bit unlucky always.
Nichols indicating already that he's going to want a timeout. And picks up the disc, and he's taking it. Timeout by Hurt.
Yeah, and it's, I think we'll agree this is an acceptable time for a timeout, don't it? Did they already use their timeout in this game? You get one per game, I believe, but...
Has Hurt used the timeout? They don't have a timeout. Chris Webber-esque.
I have no idea what's going on there, and I don't think too many of the players do either.
High disc goes to Hill. Hill for Clay. Clay looks upfield. Has Frame has Nichols all alone, and they're in for a goal, leveling things once again.
I'll jump back in and talk for a second while we're sorting everything out here. From what it looked like here was a timeout was called, decided something we wouldn't call it. We tried to confirm if there was a timeout available for Hurt. Seems they had one. They decided to play on. They scored anyway. They tied it up. So kind of just a lot of confusion here, but nobody really seems to care too much.
I mean, they all care about the win. But they can't really work out what the hell went on there.
Yeah.
So they're just going to keep going.
It's one timeout per team per game. I think they said they wanted to keep the game going. He signaled a timeout and they just played out. But maybe because he signaled it upside down, they thought it was a spirit timeout.
Lumley goes back to Keith. Keith! And the lead throw doesn't have enough on it from Capadilla. And it's going to go to Dark. Hurt will have a break chance. And a chance to take a lead they have not had in a very long time in this game.
Yeah, and if you're going to miss Lumley, you're better off trying to miss him too far, because he hasn't failed to run anything down this weekend, but that one he was too far deep, so underthrown there, and can't be that long left now.
Yeah, approximately 4 minutes, but we will get the precision on that soon. Sends one big Paskovic, and now they're wondering about the sideline. Lumley certainly is.
I think it was in. It looked like his foot was under the line, which is okay. So a small bit of confusion on things here. I think with the call, it wasn't to stop the flow. I do believe he just thought it was out. It wasn't. I know they look like they're on a bit of a break now, but that is because the players stopped playing because of the call. I don't think he called it to try and slow the play down. I think maybe just a bit of a mix-up on the rules, where if your foot is under the line, you are allowed to drag the line. And to me, it looked like he did that. But I think that, I guess they're just going to play on from here. I do feel like maybe the players should go.
Chewy's wide open with the disc. She wants it. That's a dangerous spot. She's been awesome in this game. And it is going to go back to Paskovic.
Yeah, again, I do believe he genuinely just thought it was an out call, so maybe knock him down in rules knowledge and use, maybe, but don't think his player that he called it on minds too much either, as he hits him with the disc as he gives it back to him, and he doesn't seem too fussed. So
it is going to go to Kwok.
I think what they're doing here is
that
maybe
the
fair
throw
enough.
Before the throw.
Yeah, they're going to allow the first pass. I think if everyone was being honest, I think this is the fairest outcome.
Kwok finds Chewy. Chewy leads. Paskovic chases and takes it down with one hand.
And takes the lead.
The first lead in quite some time for Hurt, with time running out.
Yeah, you got a feeling maybe the next point is going to be finish at 1 if they decide to have a little. Maybe now they'll take their time out, but maybe we shouldn't let them.
We've got 2 minutes remaining in the game. Hurt take the lead back.
Yeah, if they were smart, this is the time to actually use your timeout now. But think I'd say now wouldn't be a fair time to take the timeout. You call. You took a 10-second timeout.
So
Dark looking to see if they can take the timeout. I said you took a 5-second timeout already. You just wasted it. I think smart player to know to come over and ask about it now, but I don't. I think they signal timeouts, so they don't have one, in my opinion. They played on
after calling. Great pull, lands in the back of the end zone, picked up by Capadilla to Wavrock. Wavrock forces forward, big bid. Capadilla keeps it. But Frame is making a call. I'm not sure what he would be claiming here.
Maybe potential strip call. I'm not sure.
Capadilla.
Probably.
And little hands up in frustration there.
Still a little bit of discussion about that timeout going on, but I don't think it makes a difference now because it's probably going to be, regardless of how this point ends, unless it's scored in the next point, it's probably going to be finish this and add one. I'm hoping for Universe.
Everybody's hoping for Universe.
Solid goal, get a chance
Either
to show
a quick
us
blowout or Universe. Fires forward, hits Watt. And another discussion that is the third of such.
Here we go.
Somebody get them a table and a drink. They're enjoying the chat. And there we've officially heard that time is over. So we will finish this point, add one. If solid goal score, it's Universe. If Hurt score, it is a game to 10. Is it 9-8 right now? 10-9, so it'll be, if Hurt score, it'll be a game to 12.
Our monitor in front of us decided to go on lunch.
So, Capadilla, it's actually not at Capadilla. It is going to be at Watt and now Lumley. Lumley to Wavrock. Siebert comes under, charging hard. Sees his favorite target, Lumley, and misses to Capadilla. And a chance to really take advantage here for Hurt. Picked up by Vio. Nichols. Vio wide open, like, you got to use me, and they do. And the cuts are slowing down upfield. The legs are getting heavy. There's a bit on the hip, but a great grab by Clay. Clay leads for Frame, overshoots. And another chance for So Old. That means solid goal to take it to Universe.
Yeah, they're showing us both versions of themselves in this game. And here we go with the... Some say injuries, I say tired. I think in this division we can call them more tired, but cramp's very possible. I don't want to sound harsh on the players. I'm used to seeing it in the EUF divisions where I'm seeing players call injuries every time they're on the O-line, their line turns over, and I've started calling them out, but I don't want to call players here out for it.
Yeah, they are legit old. These cramps are a lot more real. Lumley comes under. We've got contact upfield, and that's going to slow things down. Lumley. Wavrock back to Lumley. Siebert quick on the far side. Lumley off and running. His speed is scintillating, getting open at will, and he'll get it there standing this time. Siebert fires and over top. It just misses the outstretched hand of Ross. That could have taken us to game point instead. Hurt will have another chance to extend by 2.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying watching this one now at this stage.
Wild game. Viau comes to the line. Underneath. Harnett sends deep. Paskovich on the chase. Bids and touches it, but cannot clasp the fingers. These turnovers are mounting up, but not horrible choices. Missing by centimeters.
Yeah, even just deciding maybe when to make a heroic play a step earlier or maybe go a step later. It's all very marginal right now. And again, this game just has to go to Universe. It's had everything. Both teams have taken the lead. Both teams have gone on big runs.
Another injury.
There's been some stoppages, but essentially no calls of any significance really. So let's just for this one anyway. I'm rooting for the Universe point.
Wavrock brings it to the line. Siebert comes under. Lumley takes a jab step, gets some room. Straight back to Wavrock. Looks up. Siebert up the line. He takes. Siebert leads with the backhand. Lumley right in front, inside of the brick mark. Fires to the end zone. Hits. We're going to Universe point. It's all tied up. No time remaining.
Yeah, you can see there three players. It was Lumley, Siebert, and
Wavrock, was it?
Yeah. I've seen Susie Q on the back of the jersey, got confused. But those three there, I felt, just keep it between the three of those. They've just been winning their matchups there for that point. They just looked like they were the ones likely to get it. And that is basically until the last catch in the end zone. That was, every time I thought they looked like they were really making progress, there was those three. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of them being forced back onto the line here. I mean,
oh yeah, they're coming back.
Siebert,
you got to get Lumley back out there.
Yeah,
you got to get Wavrock back out there.
They didn't do it yesterday against.
I mean, I say you gotta, but they took their time out, and the question is, can they take it in the hard cap? I believe so. My iteration of the rules is yes, you can take it at any stage in the game, and they have gone and taken it. And I think that is the smartest timeout I've seen over the weekend, and it should set things up to have the best possible finish we can get to this game. We're going to stay in for this timeout, and what it is a good time for Doc is to remind everybody we get a banger of a game here. 10-10. We've had lead changes, great grandmasters, a world championship, a pre-quarter, an elimination game. You gotta like this. Hit that like button. Do your civic duty. And the other parts of that prompt are to make sure that you hit the bell. You're a subscriber. And, of course, hit the join button and be a YouTube member. Get more when you give more. We'd love you for it. And we're going to start to see these lines now, Doc. Any surprises?
I mean, the three I was praising in the last point are all on again. So I'm going to guess it's correct to say that they're the... Possibly, it's mainly in this game I've seen Siebert a lot more now, and I think he's asserted himself. He's a lot faster than I've noticed in the previous game, and I think it was Lumley just seemed to show his pace more, so he stood out more than everyone else. But I fancied their chances to get a turn here based on having those three players on and given the speed and what I've seen from them so far.
Zimmeral with the disc. Chewy has been sensational. I cannot iterate that enough. Leads a great throw to Zimmeral. Zimmeral leads. Yearsley there, not in. Lands on the tape. Touches it down. This for the game. Yearsley goes back to Zimmeral. Zimmeral breaks. No, he doesn't. Into the corner for Knowles and hurt. Our victors on Universe Point walk one in for the win. What a game. We knew a Canadian team was going to win, and they really made us wait to the last moment to figure out which one would prevail. It's Hurt who take it. They will advance, and Solid Gold, a gutsy performance, but they will have to be relegated to the lower bracket.
Yeah, shout out to Solid Gold. We've had them on the stream 3 times, and they've had 3 Universe Point games for us. So if you're going to talk about teams you want to have on a stream, that's them. And again, just the momentum shifts in that game. They went on a 6-2 run in the middle of it, and I thought they were going to pull away with it. And a lot of close ones, a lot of close things went for and against them. And in the end, I think that's just how it came down to Universe. And someone's got to lose. And today it was Hurt who got the win, and they move on.
Doc, you talked about some of the standout performers that you thought Wavrock, Lumley, and Siebert on solid gold, I think, on the opposite side of the disc. I mean, there were many, but I think Chewy was by far and away the best player on the field. Will definitely be getting recognition for the Elite Eight at the end of this one. Zimmerl, of course, the captain, the leader. Shaggy does it year after year and has done it once again. Hurt advance. We got another pre-quarter coming up next. Rainbow Warriors, the Swedish outfit, taking on Mixed, a officially German outfit. But it's going to be a top-notch battle. Make sure you stay locked on. That coming up in no time at all. I think officially in about 1 minute. We may have just a bit more than that, but coming very soon. Stay locked on. For John Doc, I'm Stefan Rabatto. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.
Did you play your part? Hand to